Hello everyone, welcome to my Incredible Chess channel. Today we are going to learn something about Colle system. What is really the Colle system, how to play it, and I'm going to show you one instructive game in Colle system. So let's begin with the video guys. Before we go further, don't forget to like this video because it's going to be a very instructive video for you, and do let me know in the comment section what did you think about the video, and if you are new to this channel, subscribe to my channel. So let's begin. Colle system starts with d4, d5, and here you can play c3 or first knight to f3. Black can play knight f6 or e6, both moves are possible, but basically what happens, the system is like this, that you play e3. You don't play bishop f4 because we know this thing that in London system we play bishop to f4, but in Colle system we don't go for bishop to f4. We just simply play e3, and whatever black plays, usually black plays c5, try to attack the center of the board, then you just play c3. So this is basically the structure which we need to take. Then only we can say like we are playing the Colle system. Is the pawn structure should be like this. One pawn should be on c3, another pawn should be on e3, and the main thing is that the pawn should be on d4 square, followed by you can always play bishop to d3, knight to d2, then you can castle in the position, and so on. That is the basically the structure which we need to take. So that's why it is called as the Colle system, that the famous chess player Colle invented this structure. You can say he popularized this structure, he played this structure in his prime time, and that's why this opening is named after him. And it is a very systematic opening. You first of all take the control of the center, develop your pieces, safeguard your king, and then only you open up the center. That is the main thing. So I'm going to show you a game played between Irving Chernev and Herman H, which was played in New York 1942. So let's continue with the game. In the game, knight f6 was played. Now bishop to d3. As far as I told you, bishop will be eyeing towards this diagonal. Knight to c6, developing the pieces. White also develops the pieces. Now you can remember, one knight is on f3, another is knight is on d2, bishop is on d3, and now on the next move white is going to castle. Okay, black is also developing the pieces. At any moment white will not just going to capture on c5 very soon. Maybe in future he will capture on c5, but not until he completes the development. Now the development has been completed, right? But now you might be thinking that what to do with the bishop on c1, because in other system which I was talking about, London system, about that also I'm going to make a video very soon. Okay, stay tuned for that. The bishop on c1 is little bit cramped in this position because most of the pawns are on the dash square. The knight is also on d2 square. So why did he play this system when he already know that one of his pieces is going to be cramped in the position? But there is a way to get this bishop out in the center, and we need to play systematically. First of all, we need to bring our pieces in the center of the board so that we can play e4 breakthrough. So in order to do that thing, two options are there. Either you can play rook to e1, which is a possibility in the position, or you can play queen to e2, waiting for playing rook to e1. Both moves are possible. Okay, and here in this position black played rook to e8. Now after rook to e8 he wants to play e4, but if you immediately play e4, then the problem is that c captures d4, c captures d4, and the pawn on d4 will be isolated. So Chernev doesn't really want the pawn on d4 to be isolated. So in this position, he played the next move, d captures c5. The bishop captures on c5, and now he goes for e4. The idea is, if you capture, which is a normal position, okay, knight will capture, and if you capture back in the position, then queen will capture, and the queen will be eyeing towards the h7 pawn. We have to play g6, or we need to play f5. Either way, whichever move you play, you are going to weaken your king a little bit. You can play queen to c4, attacking the bishop on c5, and there is a pin in this diagonal, so we can also capture the pawn on f5 on the next move. That is one of the ideas. Okay, we can play queen d5 and try to manage everything, but then the pawn on d5 will be a weak pawn after the exchanges. Okay, so even if you play g6 in this position, then also you are going to have some pressure here. The point is, the bishop will be coming on g5 at 6 square, and on the dash squares white will be putting a lot of pressure. So capturing on e4 seems to be an interesting option, but black needs to defend in the position. So that's why black played e5 in this situation. And after e5, white came up with e captures d5, knight captures d5, and now he opens up this bishop with the next move knight to b3. The knight b3 came up with a tempo. The bishop on c5 is under attack. You need to save your bishop. There are two ways. Either you can move the bishop or you can give the support to the bishop. So black decided to support the bishop with queen to b6, putting some pressure on this diagonal. But as he has moved the queen away from the king side here, white came up with a brilliant idea. You can pause the video and think what to do. One thing I would like to tell you, here in Colle system, if you can open up your bishops, then you get a very good position. And here you have a knight on f3, queen on d2, bishop on d3. Bishop on c1 is also playing a part in this position. Okay, so white came up with the next move, that is bishop captures h7 check, which is a very tricky move. Okay, what is really happening? White is going for the pawn. If you capture here, then queen to e4 check, and the knight on d5 will be hanging in this situation. King g8 was played in the game, then queen captures on d5, and after this the bishop on c5 is also under attack by two pieces. So black plays bishop to f8, saving everything, and now he gets another piece in the game with knight g5. Now you can see the pieces are rolling in the position. Black is kind of in the corner of the board. His pieces are there on the queen side, and his king is little bit lonely, and white is constantly bringing a new piece in the game to attack on black's king. Okay, so here he plays bishop to e6, attacking the queen, but white says, okay, I'm going to play my queen to e4 square, threatening queen to h7 check and mate. Here g6 was played in the game, and now he plays queen to h4, further attacking the h7 square with a checkmate threat. Now he plays bishop g7. Okay, now even if you play queen to h7 check, king f8 will be there and black will be kind of safe. So white says, okay, in this position I need to get another piece in the game. So he plays bishop to e3, because unless and until you move the bishop, the rook on a1 will also not be coming in the game. So he plays bishop e3, because as they say, whenever you find out some weakness, you need to attack that weakness with all your pieces. And before you go for the final stage of the attack, you need to bring as many pieces as you can in the attack. Okay, so white is following that strategy here. Bishop to e3 was played, queen a6, and now he brings the knight on c5 square, attacking the e6 bishop as well as the queen on a6. And now here he plays queen to c4. He gives a check, and black is kind of lost in this position, because after king to f8, knight c e6 check, by whichever piece you capture doesn't really matter. He captured with the pawn here in this position, and now here a good move was queen captures g6. The idea is simple. Queen f7 is a checkmate. He saves that thing with knight to d8, but that did not help black to save the bishop on g7. He plays knight h7 check, king to e7, and now the checkmate follows with queen captures g7 check, king comes on this square, and now rook a d1 check. If you bring the queen in between, queen will be lost, and if you play king to c6, a very cute checkmate is there, that is queen to d7 check and mate. I hope that you understood what are the necessity things which we need to do in the Colle system. I will just go back and show you once again that you need to bring your pieces after developing your like having this pawn structure c3, d4, e3, and f2 and b2. You need to develop the bishop to d3 square, knight to d2 square, castle, and only after you have castled, bring your pieces in the center of the board and try to get the e4 breakthrough. Once you get the e4 breakthrough, your bishop will be coming in the game, and it will be a very great position if your pieces are opened up. So with this note, guys, I think like it was an interesting video, instructive also, and do let me know in the comment section how did you like it. We'll be meeting very soon with another video. Till that moment, take care and love you all. Thank you very much.